Hey Axis and Allies players, the good captain here, and welcome to a review of NATO Round 5 and the execution of USSR Round 6, Soviet Round 6. In this game of East and West, played against the human opponent, Western Europe purchases 10 infantry, all 30 IPCs spent. The combat move is kind of just keeping this dance going. 5 infantry into Yugoslavia to knock out the 3 Soviets there. 4 infantry into Turkey to knock out the 3 Soviets there with 2 fighters in support. And of course there's a blocker clearance team sent into Iran. So again, nothing too shocking. The result was pretty shocking though. I'm not going to run the calc. I don't want to. Well, 3 and 4. I mean, I'm going to be basically doing something like the same thing here pretty soon, but I don't know, that is pretty thin soup. But that is probably the best he could have done. Yeah, I think that was probably good. But anyway, the Turkey is a piece swap. Both sides lose 3 pieces. Otherwise, NATO picks up Turkey. Iran gets taken at no loss. So the Soviet there goes down. And then finally, the 3 in Yugoslavia go down for the loss of only 1 NATO. But actually, that was pretty good. So they rolled down in Turkey and rolled up in Yugoslavia. I think I can tell just by looking at it. So 4, 5, they lost 3, 4 pieces, and the Soviets lost 7 pieces, right? Yeah. So that's interesting, but yeah, I might go over that later. Western Europe non-combat move, very predictable, okay, and then they place, also fairly predictable. They're keeping the shuck going, and Indochina, etc., etc. Okay. WE5 income. I think they collect 28. Yeah. Okay. So basically the same as the turn prior. And UK5 purchase. The economy is at a dead even. These raids are sort of balancing it out. Otherwise, the Soviets would have it, but these pickup raids are effectively rebalancing the whole thing. I think it puts them basically 1 infantry ahead of the Soviets at the end of the world turn. But okay, the UK the combat move doesn't exist because this is one of the. I've done this before too. You get sort of confused on if you're on the combat move or the combat phase, so you end up doing it all in one. In Romania, so the British utilized the Turkish Straits because the Western Europeans pried it open, and they clear it at no loss, and then they clear Switzerland for the loss of 1 infantry. So they take 3 Soviets off for the loss of 1. I don't believe there was anything else. And oh yeah, they threw a tech dice at. They spent 5 IPCs and threw a tech dice at aircraft. The UK did. So this is they're a half mark up to the jets. All they needed was a 1 or 2 to get the jet tech, and they missed. So that's a nice boost for the Soviet side to see that go down the drain. But to be continued. We'll see. You'll see something happen in the USA turn here. But UK places, nothing terribly crazy. Okay, yeah. Although I'm a little surprised. This bomber is here to take over Alaska and Western Canada, so that they can paradrop 1, 2, 3. I was going to go for Western Canada because it's outside the range of transports, or I could have gone for Alaska and drawn the transport back. But we're not going to do that because of what happens here shortly. So yes, let's continue. US5 purchase. They throw a tech dice at aircraft. They miss with the free nuke tech. They throw a tech dice at aircraft and roll a 2, so it's warmed up. And this is we have to consider the fact that on the next US turn, there's a 33% chance the US gets long-range aircraft. So in this game, this is another uniqueness about this game, about the third dimension in this game. There's a level of predictability when it comes to tech dice, and proper planning will kind of mitigate some of the shock if he breaks through. And oh, that's right. And then the U.S. spy was successful in his counter intel role, and the USSR loses one of the 2 spies it has. So the combat move, a raid on South Korea, a rather large push into Norway, 6 pieces, and they don't lose any in Norway, but they lose 1 in South Korea. Okay, so we go to the US 5 non-combat move, lots of dancing around, but otherwise, again, just keeping the pipeline coming along, and yada yada yada. Okay, placement, again, nothing too shocking about any of this, and then we go to US 5 income. All right, now on the Soviet turn, I still have 1 spy and 1 free counter intel roll. I actually rolled the spy at diplomacy to just try to shake things up, and I rolled the counter intel, and both were misses. So then we moved to the tech, and we got fission weapons. Okay, we finally, in Soviet turn 6, after 6 throws, we finally got a pair of 2s, no 1s. But the pair of 2s pulled it through, and this is, better late than never. So this basically obligates, in my opinion, obligates us to match up, to purchase a nuke and to match the bomber to the nuke. So that raid, that airborne raid that I really would have liked to have done, that would have been, anyway, it would have been interesting to control the purchase. It's always interesting to control the purchase of your opponent, because that would have required some sort of response. But anyway, not going to happen. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything else to say. Here we go for Soviet 6, and I've already prepped the combat move, so we're just going to keep rolling. This is a big, bloody mess, and we're going to basically keep the same kind of tempo. Retake everything that was taken. Oh, I forgot to mention that this was actually a rough pill to swallow. No, I guess it's not. It's all within statistics, but yeah. So the U.S. uses its 2 bombers to airborne in 2 paratroopers and 4 fighters supporting it. Blasts all 3 infantry that were there, and we managed to, as the Soviets managed to get 1 hit in return. So they actually control everything but West Germany, East Germany, and Greece. This whole area is just weirdly NATO. Just everybody's got a piece of something in here. So we got to clean all that up. We got to clean out Norway. We got to clean out Turkey and Iran. And I do have something of a plan to try to stabilize everything. So we're going to go full into South Korea. We're going to try to not just take, but take and hold at this point. And then in the east over here, or just go from east to west, in this area of the board, we are now in range of India. So this heavy armor can move 3 spaces. These infantry in Xinjiang can hit this, and the 2 fighters here can hit India as well, so long as they land in Xinjiang. So yeah, I'm feeling I'm starting to feel a little bit of pressure, especially since they're making movement on this tech tree towards long-range aircraft, a very lethal tech in any game. Probably the most lethal after heavy bombers from Classic. So that's to say nothing of the nuclear weapons tech tree here. I just meant in terms of standard tech between other versions of Axis and Allies in this one. Okay, so yeah, we have 3 infantry, a heavy armor, and 2 fighters against 4 infantry. This is not a guarantee, but it is a high probability that we will secure India. And the main thing is not to just hold, we're not trying to hold it, obviously. We're trying to remove the British ability to place units here. Essentially blocker clearance. Iran, we're just sending in infantry with 4 armors. That's 1 round of combat. Kill the thing, take it. Same thing with Turkey, although we're trying to send in more troops to see if we can send in a more robust defense. 7 infantry and an armor. If we're able to withhold the attack, or hold back the attack from the Western Europeans, that should mobility kill the British fleet in the Black Sea, i.e. they will not be able to move. We send the same generic cleanup operations in Switzerland, Yugoslavia, Romania, and Poland. Again, they're all in the high 90s, above 95, all of these. So, but there's 4 of them. So once you have an increased number of these high likely, even though they're all very highly likely, your chance of one of them going foul is is increased. But we'll do what we can. We are playing inside the margins as best we can, insofar as we can, because there actually is, and this is a good example. Norway is also sort of this type of situation. We could commit more pieces to this, but I trust the laws of probability, and if we commit too much, there is a large NATO navy here, and there are a number of ships that are able to offshore, and there's no limit to how many, or there is no piece matching. You can land one infantry and activate all the barrels in the ocean. These are classic rules, essentially. You don't have to have 2 infantry to get 2 offshore. You only need 1 infantry to have as many offshore are offshore, and these offshores hit like submarines. They're like sneak attacks. The guys don't get to shoot back, so I'm incentivized to send in the least amount of troops to do the job, and that appears to be 5. So that's it. And then there's sort of a non-combat. There's sort of an overall plan, but it'll something that I might discuss at the end of this thing. Stuff can go wrong, and the whole thing might change. So that's it. Let's begin. Okay, we'll start first with Norway, where we have 5 infantry and 6-3 attackers attacking 6-2 defenders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay. We're expecting 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, all wiped out in a single round of combat. That was a thing that can happen 12% of the time, so a fairly warm roll, but of course we need to see. That's not bad, but it could be a 12% result from our opponent, so we always withhold comment until the end of the whole round, really, or the whole turn, really. So let's USA defends Norway. They're all dead. So there's no need for a round 1 or round 2. We roll 6 back. Sorry, just want to check the emails. Yeah, 2 hits. Okay, so they hit their numbers, and that means we had a fairly lucky attack. But again, the offshore can make that a moot point. Possible. It's always possible. Next, we'll do Switzerland. This is a 97% chance. I'm not too worried about this, but I have seen these go poorly. So 2 infantry and an armor versus 1 infantry, round 1. Okay, they get a free shot at us. 1 back, and they nail it. The USSR goes for round 2. And there we go, we got it. The British roll back. Oh, wow, they got 10%, that's an 11% chance, and they cleared it, but rules about armor in this game mean we will take the territory. It'll just be vacant of USSR pieces. So USSR up, UK down. Okay, let's go with Poland. Okay, 2 infantry and an armor. USSR attacks Poland. Yes, here we go. Hit. USA defends. Miss. Okay, 2 more battles in this area of the board, and we'll first go with Yugoslavia. So this one's got 4 Western Europeans in there, and I hit it with 4 infantry and armor and 2 heavy armor. Okay, 4 infantry and armor and 2 heavy. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're expecting 2, maybe 3 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got them. That was actually an 18% chance of occurrence. Not totally insane. And oof, we took 2 hits. And so even though that roll was pretty hot for the Soviets, it still averaged out. That was the most likely outcome. So yeah, that's usually why I'm pretty hesitant to start whooping and hollering about most of this stuff. Okay. Yeah. Romania, a bomber and 4 infantry. I hesitated because it's lighter than I remember, but okay. Okay, yeah, 4 infantry and a bomber, and we're ready to go. Expecting 1, maybe 2 hits, and we get all we needed was 2, yeah, so we got at least 2. Okay, and 2 back. 1 hit. Again, all of this, a lot of fireworks, a lot of first round fireworks for both sides. It's all sort of ending up inside of the par when everything from top to bottom has been pretty, yeah, pretty much balanced out. Norway and Switzerland definitely balanced out, yeah. Okay, nothing fantastic. Yeah, let's do Turkey, 7 infantry and an armor. Okay, this 7 more than likely will go down in 1 round of combat. Yeah, okay, and does he get a hit back? No. Just keep chugging down the line. I think we got 3 more to go. Iran, 4 armor and 1 infantry. Okay, 4 armor and 1 infantry. Oh my god, we whiffed. Maybe it won't matter. It didn't. Going again. Okay, we got 2 hits. The WE Inf gets another shot and connects. You know, there was always a 33 plus % chance that that happens, so cannot be shocked. Okay, India next in the chute. This one is not in the 90s, or I think it's just 90 or something like that. And I'm accounting for the fact, you know, what the infantry screen getting stripped and being forced to retreat is a, you know, and still taking it is a 90. Not being defeated. If I ran it to the ground, then yeah, we would sit in the high 90s. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're expecting 2 hits. Yeah. That's the most center of the line bell curve result. 2 hits. Got it. Okay, UK defends India. We're expecting 1 or 2 hits on the way back. And they score 1 hit. Again, same thing. We should mop them up now. Yeah, 2 hits. And finally, 2 dice on the way back. Okay, and 2 back. 55% chance they get... No, they didn't. Okay. So India goes down, and there will be, at the end of this turn, 2 Soviet infantry in there. And the main thing is that it's been shut down as a center of production, at least for 1 turn. The final attack is 5 infantry and an armor in South Korea. Okay, 5 infantry, 1 armor. Off we go. 1. Oh, there's only 1, right? Yeah, okay. That was it. Okay, 1 guy. Okay, and does the USA get a hit? No. Okay, so we've adjusted the IPC tracker, and it looks like with 72 IPCs, the USSR will... yeah, well, it looks like we hit 70... We'll collect 76 because China's still in our pocket. And we have that spare dollar still lingering around, so 77 for the next turn. Let's do some non-combat move. Okay, and after carefully examining the battlefield, here's what we're going to do. I'll just skip to placement. And actually, I'll just skip to the end with income. So, yeah, it's sort of a hedgehog defense. Opened up Karelia and Komi. Stacked up Finland. And it's a defense in depth, essentially. It's just not that... I don't know. Not that artful. Yeah, and then of course we drop in the nuke. So now we have a nuke in play. A lot of options from this position. Barents Sea is in range. North Sea is in range. The Black Sea is in range. The sea's in south of Italy. Actually, I was looking at it. There's... I don't see... I mean, pending... I mean, I could have missed something, but this Western European fleet, even if they change the political situation, it cannot get out of range. So I imagine it'll disperse. But the British fleet looks... I think it's stuck. Again, I don't know. I just looked at the map and then just made my best manipulations of it. So... I don't know. I feel like I'm dragging because I think this is really neat to have taken it this far. Like, we're at turn 6 and we're on a tightrope. At least that's what it feels like for me. Like, it could be, you know, one NATO world turn away from a complete disaster. I totally, you know, comprehend that there's nothing is risk-free. So, but I'm hoping, man, it'd be awesome to kind of keep it on a tightrope for a few more turns. I'm not really into the game. Well, anyway, I like a good long competitive game. Um, it's entertaining. So let's see how long we can stay on the tightrope. Thanks for watching. All the best from the good captain, and bye-bye.